After winning their league opener over Ponderosa last week, the Bella Vista Broncos then hit a stretch of 5 opponents who are now in double-digit wins for the season. It started with last Thursday's loss at Rio and a date last Tuesday with Inderkum. And as most teams that play Inderkum will tell you, that's never an easy task, and it wasn't for BV either, losing 92-38. Tonight, it's Game 3 of that 5-game stretch as Bella Vista welcomes Christian Brothers to town. The Falcons come into the game with a 15-4 record, 2-2 in Capital Valley Conference action, having defeated Vista del Lago and Ponderosa while losing to Wood Creek and Inderkum. For the Broncos, they opened up league play like they opened up the season with a win at home. It was over Ponderosa last week before this stretch of games against the top teams in the conference. Broncos at 7-11, 1-3 in league play, are looking, as always, to pressure CB, force turnovers, and convert the turnovers into points. Coach Stuart Kussler has said throughout the season he feels his team can compete with anyone, will embrace the challenge tonight, but when they embrace the challenge, they are going to have to do so without Maxwell Pruker, because he is injured and will be out for at least a couple of weeks due to an ankle injury suffered playing basketball at the park over the weekend. And so we will get a little bit more on that as the evening progresses. But Maxwell Pruker will not be in the lineup for the next few games for Bella Vista. It's Bella Vista and Christian Brothers, a Capital Valley Conference matchup, and it's coming your way next, right here on BV Live Sports. Hello, everybody. George Tharlson and Carson Allen with you this evening as the Broncos get set to take on a very, very tough Christian Brothers team. We'll talk about the Falcons and their lineup and the top players in just a bit. But right now, Carson, we got to address the issue that we just reported on, and that is the loss of Maxwell Pruker, second leading scorer on the team, really kind of part of the heart and soul of the team. He will definitely be missed by the Broncos.
I definitely agree, George. And looking at Max Preps, like how you said, Maxwell Pruker is the second most point-scoring player on the team at 12.1 points per game. That's definitely going to be missed. And the next down the line is Jonah Wooden with 6.2. So it's definitely going to be a big gap to fill with Maxwell being missing, as well as also we also heard from Coach Kussler that Jonah Wooden is going to be taking Maxwell Pruker's starting position. And when we interviewed him, he said that he had the capability to be a starter, but it's definitely going to be game time for Jonah to see if he can put on the pressure that's needed to fill the starter role.
And if you recall, Jonah Wooden actually cracked the starting lineup last year in January for a couple of games before suffering an injury of his own that ended his season. And so he knows what it's like to be in the starting lineup. They actually did, back in a tournament a few weeks ago, give him a couple of starts as well. But now it's by necessity. So Jonah Wooden will enter the starting lineup tonight for the Broncos. And Maxwell Pruker, my understanding is his ankle is still pretty well swollen right now, and they're doing everything that they can. He'll have it reevaluated. And then hopefully before too long, back in action. He is a senior. He doesn't play a spring sport, so this is going to be kind of it sports-wise for his senior year. So he definitely wants to get back in there and get some action before the season comes to an end. Obviously, so now that means who is the next man up? You mentioned that as far as the vacancy in the starting lineup, it is Jonah Wooden that will take his spot. And we've seen what Jonah Wooden can do. He can score, he can drive, he can rebound. He kind of does it all. But the Broncos are probably looking at him to pick up some of that scoring load. Obviously, more will fall on Marka Trotsik, the leading scorer for this team. And then other players. Cale Bird, we know he can haul down the rebounds, and he averages about 6 points per game. We'll probably need to see a little bit more points for him. Pruker won't be there, so opportunities will be there for someone else.
Yeah, 100%. I fully agree with that statement, and just saying that it's like how it says, it's like an assembly line. Whenever the next worker gets injured or is called out sick, the next best person in line comes up and starts filling that gap.
The only other injury for Bella Vista, that's Ben Campbell we told you about, has sprained thumb where he's out a couple of weeks. They are looking at maybe getting him back or at least having him reevaluated next week. We won't see him for the game against Wood Creek on Tuesday, but maybe the following week when we're back, he might be ready to go. And who knows, maybe Maxwell Pruker could be ready by then as well. We'll see what happens as far as that is concerned. For Christian Brothers, they will be missing their starting point guard tonight. That is Joaquin Lucero Mattis. No injury, nothing, no real issue or concern. It's a family vacation thing. The coach was telling us, and so he's not going to be able to make it to the game tonight, but that's okay. They've got others that can step up into the lineup as well. So definitely, Lucero Mattis, by the way, averaging about 4.5 points and 2.5 rebounds a game, but he will be out of the lineup. The key names to look for Christian Brothers, the leading scorer is Stephen Hewitt, 6'3" senior, 16.8 points per game. This year, averaged about 13 points per game. Last year, he is their leader, and a close second is Daniel Powers at 13 points per game and 7.5 rebounds. In fact, Daniel Powers had 14 rebounds in their win over Jesuit last Saturday. And according to what I read in the Sacramento Bee, a quote from Coach Jermaine Brown, I forgot to ask him about this, but apparently that was their first win over Jesuit in 10 years.
Oh my goodness gracious!
And that is the two Catholic high schools on the boys' side that Christian Brothers, of course, is co-ed, but and Jesuit is all boys, but that play on the boys' side. So that's a rivalry, even though they're in different conferences. But yeah, usually it seems that Jesuit has the upper hand in basketball and football. But
just about every sport too. When I played water polo my freshman year, they definitely still had that edge that was to them, and they were definitely aggressive. So it seems like they're the multi-tool of every sport.
Yeah, so that was a big one for Christian Brothers last week. And in fact, if you watch the NFHS live stream, you could see where the Christian Brothers fans, they did come down on the floor. And I wouldn't call it a court storming, because I think it was rather calm.
But like the 4 or 5 moms or dads, and that's about it.
Well, there were quite a few fans there, but
right
they came down on the court, so there was a big mass of Christian Brothers folks on the floor after they came away with that win. That was definitely a big win. Christian Brothers is 15-4 on the year. They're 2-2 in the Capital Valley Conference, as we mentioned at the start of the broadcast. They have lost their games to Inderkum and also to Wood Creek. So a couple of those. Those are their losses and their wins. Like Bella Vista, they have a win over Ponderosa, and they also beat Vista Del Lago, which is a pretty good squad as well. Get a look at the Bella Vista cheerleaders on the screen right now. They are here tonight, and so we will be seeing and hearing from them. And so there should be a lot of energy going in this game here tonight. So this will be a lot of fun tonight. And obviously a tough task ahead for Bella Vista, especially since they will not have Maxwell Pruker this evening, and they won't have Maxwell Pruker for a little while. So Carson is heading down to the floor because, as you well know, he's got some other duties that he is responsible for. So he is going to go ahead and take care of those for us as we get the starting lineups taken care of here in just a few moments. And we already talked about a couple of them already. The names to look for Christian Brothers: Daniel Powers and Stephen Hewitt. And then the starters, which we won't ruin it for you. We'll let Carson tell you who they are in just a bit. But as we take a look at Bella Vista, you can probably see on the left side of your screen, there's Maxwell Pruker with the crutches, and he's got to be bummed to be missing this one.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If I could please have everybody rise for our national anthem. now for the Christian Brothers starting lineups. Number 0, Daniel Powers. Number 2, Aaron Grinstein. Number 4, Andre Rob Patterson. Number 5, Cameron Nero. And finally, number 13, Stephen Hewitt. And now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for your Bella Vista Broncos! Standing at 6'2", number 22, the junior, Jonah Wooden. Standing at 5'9", number 12, the sophomore, Trevor Iwamasa. Standing at 6'4", the junior, number 10, Cale Bird. Standing at 6'3", the junior, number 5, Mitchell Emery. And finally, your senior point guard, standing at 6'3", number 4, Mark Atatsic. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a great game and respect our officials during the entire game. We do not want no unsportsmanlike conduct. Let's have a great game tonight.
You know, I wish Carson would start having fun doing the starting lineups. You know, honestly. Let's get this game underway. As the Broncos, again, no Maxwell Pruker tonight. And so it's Jonah Wooden who gets the call in the starting lineup. Cale Bird will step in to jump center. Double checking. And it is Cameron Nero who jumps center against him. The ball deflected out of bounds. It will go over to Bella Vista. I don't know that Christian Brothers actually controlled it, so Bella Vista, I believe, wins the jump here. So yes, the possession arrow points to Christian Brothers on the next held ball. Here's Jonah Wooden. It's the Broncos with the first possession of the game. This is Iwamasa. He's picked up by Grinstein, who follows him all the way to the corner. Atrocic is open. Ball fake, lost the ball. And that's Nero that comes up with it. Here come the Falcons back the other way. Powers driving in. Powers to the rack, if you will. Cale Bird with his first rebound of the game. Here's Iwamasa pushing the ball into front court to Jonah Wooden. Bounce pass to Bird. Out front it comes to Atrocic off the screen. Atrocic will launch one off the back iron. Tipped by Cale Bird right into the hands of Daniel Powers, his first rebound of the game. To the right side, there's the jumper from Stephen Hewitt. That does not go. Broncos with the rebound. Both teams like to run, and so look for an up-tempo style. And Christian Brothers, you know, the better team record-wise, but the Broncos have held them scoreless so far. Here's Wooden to the baseline. Closed off. Mitchell Emery has an opening. He'll launch one up with one hand. Tries to follow the shot, tries to get his own rebound, but instead Powers has it. That's his second. 14 the other night in the win over Jesuit. Powers tries to crossover, winds up on the ground, but he lost possession of the ball. They're going to call a held ball. I think actually the Christian Brothers got a timeout called first before the held ball there. So Coach Jermaine Brown, in his fourth year at Christian Brothers, started in the COVID year when they had to play in the springtime. He is up off the bench to make the call for the timeout. So Christian Brothers will keep possession. So off to a rather intense start so far, but nobody has scored yet.
Yeah, it's going to be probably this game the entire first half. On Max Preps, it says that Bella Vista does beat Christian Brothers in scoring in the first quarter. It's about 18 points to Christian Brothers 16. So it's definitely going to be like this for the entire first quarter to first half of just being really hard offensive pressure. And
That's
a
Rab
rebound
Patterson
Iwamasa.
and Rab Patterson was the one that took the three-point shot. Again, Christian Brothers, if you are a Christian Brothers fan, they are missing their point guard, Lucero Mattis. That is Joaquin Lucero Mattis is not here tonight, out of town on a family vacation. And so we will not be calling that name very often tonight, just like we won't be calling Maxwell Pruker or Ben Campbell for Bella Vista as they are injured. Here's Hewitt. Hewitt on Bird. Rab Patterson finds Powers, or check that, Grinstein. There's Powers. Powers on Wooden, works his way off the screen. Wooden right up in Powers' face, forces the turnover. Here's Bird. Bird with the Euro step. Powers to the rack. That one's too hard. Cameron Nero with the rebound. Powers, spin move to the rack. Puts it up and in. There's the first points of the game. Powers living up to his name that time. Just 2 minutes, just above 2 minutes into the game. And there's a steal. And a jumper from the outside by Grinstein. Grinstein averages about 2.5 points per game. A little difficulty here on the inbounds pass. This one's going to go to Christian Brothers. So they take a 4-0 lead and then they force the turnover. This is Grinstein out front, picked up by Iwamasa. There's Hewitt, leading scorer. There's the three-point shot and a block by Emery. That's the second three-point attempt by Rab Patterson. Here's Wooden. Wooden works his way all the way around into Cale Bird on the low block. Has the ball deflected away and out of bounds. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Bella Vista retains possession. Iwamasa to inbounds. Grinstein will have the guarding assignment. Cale Bird underneath, up over Hewitt, puts that one in. First points of the game for Bella Vista comes right at the 5-minute mark. Left side Grinstein, he'll launch a three. Off, no good. Another rebound for Cale Bird.
That's already 2 for him.
Trotzik into front court off the screen from Bird. This is Iwamasa. Open, Jonah Wooden for 3. Powers the rebound. Closed off, loose ball. Deflected to the baseline. Powers has it and just waits for a Trotzik to fly by and then puts it up and in. 4 points tonight for Daniel Powers. Loose ball, another turnover for Bella Vista as they are having difficulty getting the ball across the timeline here.
Midcourt. Looks like there was a substitution made. Rob Patterson has been subbed out for Salud.
Marcus Salud. A little bit more on Marcus Salud, graduate of St. John Vianney in Rancho Cordova. And a certain member of this broadcast team coached him in basketball when he was in 7th grade. And I will give you a hint, it wasn't Carson.
And I don't think we're going to be doing the broadcast math to try and figure out if it was actually me or not.
Here's Mitchell Emery back the other way. He'll power up a shot. That one goes in.
Timeout BV.
And the Broncos are going to quickly take a timeout. Nice move there for the Broncos and a much needed 2 points.
I agree. Being down by 2, it's still really, it's still a game. 3:54 in the first quarter. I think that if I was Coach Cussler right now, I'd be wanting to say, stop the midcourt pressure, because I feel like that's what's been costing them. And when we were talking with Coach Jermaine Brown before the game, he said that he was a full court, offensive, just get in your face with the ball kind of person. And I think Coach Cussler is going to be talking with his point guards, Trevor and Mark, to say, stop being afraid of that first ball pressure when you get to the middle and just work around it and then work to the basket.
The Broncos have turned the ball over a couple of times. facing that Christian Brothers pressure, and now a fight for the ball. It's still loose on the ground. Salute nearly got it for Christian Brothers, but it winds up in the hands of BV.
Emery with a steal.
Here's a Trotzik all the way in. His shot goes up and off. Good defense by Christian Brothers. Here comes Powers the other way to Hewitt underneath on the baseline, up with the right hand. Hewitt, his first points of the game. Back to a 4-point lead. Full court press from Christian Brothers. Here's a Trotzik. He's picked up by Hewitt. Now double team on the trapping defense. Long pass. Back over to Hewitt. He'll launch a three. That's a good-looking shot. But it doesn't go in for Hewitt, and the Trotzik comes up with the rebound. Broncos trying to run. Here's Bird. Back to Iwamasa. Wooden, he's open. His shot, that's a little too hard. Rebound by Salute. Here's Powers. Finger roll does not go, and then now we're going to get a foul called against Christian Brothers. Looks like that's going to go against Powers. That'll be his first. That's the first foul called on Christian Brothers, each team with a team foul. Substitutions for the Broncos. There is a Riley Dick sighting.
Oh, boy.
He has played, I think this is the first home game that he's had a chance to play in.
It is.
Because we have not seen him on any of our broadcasts yet this year, but he has played in a few games since recovering from that gruesome injury in the second week of the football season. He entered the football season as the starting quarterback. Here's Iwamasa for three. Oh, boy, that looked like that was going to go down. Rebound to Braden Henley into the game for Christian Brothers. The Falcons quickly turn this one over. Here's Wooden all the way in. Braden Henley makes amends as he comes up with a turnover on his own. Grinstein tries to drive in. Nice little shoulder maneuver. We're going to get a foul called. This one on Jonah Wooden. That'll be his first second team foul on Bella Vista. Christian Brothers to inbound on the baseline. Rab Patterson will do the honors. Next to the Bella Vista cheerleaders. Grayson Stockdale in for his first action, a 6'4" sophomore. Group of sophomores on this varsity team. Here's a turnaround jumper from Hewitt that does not go. Cade Rucker in for Bella Vista. He gets his first rebound of the game. Group of sophomores for Bella Vista that have been together for several years, actually, playing together. That's Mitchell Emery with his second deuce of the game. He's got 4 points. Broncos within 2. Coach Brown is definitely developing something here. He's got a few seniors here, and this is one of them in Marcus Salute. Down to the baseline, Marcus Salute draws the foul and will go to the free throw line. Mitchell Emery will get called for the contact, and that'll be his first.
Going back to what you were saying about Coach Jermaine Brown cooking up something, I definitely see it. And just max prep scores alone, it's already looking like promising. He does have his 2 stars in, I believe it's Powers and at least Cameron and Steffen. And those 2 are going to be graduating this year. However, every other player after that is like 9-10 points per game. And it shows. These boys are putting up this great pressure and just good ball movement, which is great to see in a sophomore.
Marcus Salud looking very comfortable at the line. It must have been that 7th grade coaching he got. Here's Marko Trotzik into front court. Here's Emery to the base, to the free throw line. Lost it, gets it back, still loose on the ground. And it looks like Stockdale comes up with it for Christian Brothers. The outlet, and they're going to say Stockdale traveled before he passed it out to Rab Patterson. So the Broncos, down by 4 with a minute to go in the opening quarter, get a chance here at another possession. Riley Dick to inbound.
Football pass.
Marko Trotzik is fouled on the outside. Stockdale was the one with the guarding assignment there. Stockdale, a 6'4" sophomore, averaging about 2 points per game. The sophomores on this team, Braden Henley, Andre Rab Patterson, we mentioned one of the starters tonight. Joaquin Lucero Mattis, the starting point guard for this team, who is not here. Stockdale is another one of the sophomores, and then Ezra Riley as well. So that's I believe I just counted 5 sophomores on this varsity team for Christian Brothers. And they force a turnover with under a minute to go. The Falcons will bring the ball into front court, and they will meet the Bella Vista 2-3 zone. Hewitt tried to hand the ball off to Powers. We're going to get a foul here.
It
wound up in the hands of Bella Vista.
So the call on the floor was Riley had full possession when he was stealing the ball, and he didn't dribble, so it was called a travel.
Moved his feet. Okay.
Yep. And so it's now back to Falcons ball.
So here's Powers. 13 points, 7.5 rebounds per game. Hewitt, about 16 points per game. Riley Dick reaching in, tries to get his hands on the ball, and he did, force the jump ball. And the possession arrow will favor Christian Brothers. So Stephen Hewitt, the 6'3 senior, will inbound. Stockdale. Back to Hewitt, posting up down low. Backing in, the turnaround jumper over at Trotzik. Dick controls the rebound. Looking for help. Jonah Wooden comes to assist. So Wooden will call the play. Wooden, Trotzik, and Iwamasa can all play that point guard position. Wooden had his shot deflected away. Stockdale comes up with it. Here's Rab Patterson closed off. Gets it over to the right side, Henley. And we're going to get a whistle and another travel called with 8.4 seconds to go. The Broncos are going to have a chance at the final shot here.
I hear Cancun is the hot destination for all these traveling calls.
They're all traveling to Cancun. 5 seconds, 4 seconds. Riley Dick over to Trotzik. Trotzik looking to get off a shot. He does, but it's going to go short. So a low-scoring first quarter here, but the Broncos very much in this one against a 15-4 Christian Brothers team that has been rather successful over the years. They lost in the first round of the Division III State Championship playoffs to San Joaquin Memorial of Fresno just this past season, and that was with Daniel Powers and Stephen Hewitt on the team last year. So this is a very talented team for Christian Brothers. They reached the D3 section playoffs and made it all the way to the championship game before losing. So they take second in the section championship, but that's good enough to get you that state playoff berth. And then they went up against San Joaquin Memorial and lost that. Christian Brothers, we didn't see them last year. They are now members of the Capital Valley Conference and make the league a lot tougher with the likes of Vista Del Lago also coming in, and of course Intercom and Wood Creek already having been here.
True. So something that Coach Germain, when we were talking to him, is that he's lost to Sac High now 2-3 times in the conference. And funny, I thought that this was quite humorous when he was explaining the most recent playoff game from last year. They had to reschedule the game to a Wednesday at 12 because of a Madonna concert.
Yeah, well, they played the section finals at Golden One Center, and I guess
Madonna takes priority.
I guess Madonna takes priority. So Wednesday at 12. Well, hey, they got to skip school.
Hey.
So I mean, there's any benefit there. Right side is Rucker to the baseline, closed off there. And the ball winds up with Rab Patterson, and then Wooden reaches in. He's going to get called for a foul. That's his second of the game. 7:40 to go. So substitutions for Christian Brothers. Ezra Riley, a 6'5 sophomore, is now seeing his first action. Braden Henley is in the game along with Hewitt, Rab Patterson, and Powers. And this is Powers on Iwamasa. Powers gets free, takes it to the rack. That one's a little too hard. Rucker tries for the rebound. Loose ball. Fighting for it. Trotzik comes up with it for Bella Vista. Long pass to Cale Bird on the baseline. He'll put that one up a little too hard. Rebound tipped to Daniel Powers. Find Hewitt the other way. Hewitt couldn't find the handle. Rucker comes up with it. Rucker's going to drive in. Finger roll layup is good. Cade Rucker, his first 2 points of the game. Bella Vista within 2. Quickly back the other way. Hewitt's shot doesn't go. Rebound. They find Ezra Riley, and he gets his first 2 of the game. Riley averaging about 3.5 per game for Christian Brothers. Here's Iwamasa back into front court. Man-to-man defense from Christian Brothers. Coach Jermaine Brown off the bench, urging on his players. Here's a Trotzik driving in, blocked from behind. Bird the rebound, the putback won't go, but he draws the foul. It's like Henley's going to get this one. First on him, that'll be the first team foul on Christian Brothers here in the second quarter. And again, if you missed it, maybe you haven't been following high school basketball the last couple of years. No more 1-and-1s, no more 7 fouls per half or anything like that. It's 5 team fouls per quarter and 2 free throws once you hit that 5 mark. Dale Bird with both free throws. He's got 4 tonight. Broncos again within 2. They're keeping it close. 3-point shot on the way. Swish! Andre Rab Patterson. By the way, he's a 33% three-point shooter, making 1 out of every 3. That's actually a pretty good percentage for threes.
Yeah, that is good.
Rucker underneath. Here's Bird again. Turnaround jumper. Dances around and drops in. So he put that one over Daniel Powers. Cale Bird now up to 6 points of the game. Falcons lead is 3. Powers working off the pick. The shot does not go. Cameron Nero is the one that set the pick. Broncos the rebound. Here's Bird driving in. That one's rejected by Braden Henley.
Something that's funny. Christian Brothers has about 3 blocks per game, so over Bella Vista is about 2.
I think they're already there tonight.
Yeah, 3. Yeah, there's already 3.
A Trotzik for 3. Up and off. Zach O'Neal into the game, gets the rebound. Iwamasa closed off. Here's Emery to the baseline, up with the right hand. That does not go. That's Henley with the rebound. Here's Nero. Kicks it over to Riley, and an offensive foul away from the play.
Called.
Looks like on Nero. It looks like he said 5. So that's the first on Nero, second team foul on Christian Brothers. Iwamasa on Rab Patterson. Breaks the press. Here's a Trotzik. A Trotzik in. Drives in. That one is going to roll in. Looked like he put it up a little too hard, but he got the friendly roll. A Trotzik, his first points of the game. Here's Powers driving in on the baseline. There is a block. Oh, it would have been a block for O'Neal, but he got some skin as well. And so Zach O'Neal's going to be called for his first personal tonight. Second team foul on Bella Vista. Daniel Powers was in the act of shooting, so he will go to the line. Daniel Powers, by the way, 60% free throw shooter, according to Max Preps. Season high 19 points versus Cathedral Prep and 18 in the loss to Inderkum. And he makes both free throws. He's up to 6 points tonight. 3-point lead for Christian Brothers. They've led the whole way, but the Broncos are keeping it close. O'Neal posting up down low. That's Bird at the top of the key. Iwamasa. Broncos will get it inside to Bird. Bird will try and drive in. He does, and puts it up and in. We talked about it, Carson. Who is going to step up and take the scoring load and take some of the pressure off of Marka Trotzik due to the injury to Maxwell Pruker? Well, Cale Bird has 8 points tonight.
Offensive foul.
And an offensive foul going the other way. The Broncos have a chance to take their first lead of the game. Jonah Wooden's going to come in. And Marka Trotzik is going to get a breather. And you got to give him the breather. You can't expect him to play the whole game.
No.
Kruker, by the way, did miss the game against Inderkum as well, as the injury happened over the weekend. Cale Bird, high post. And he thought Iwamasa was going to zig, and he zagged instead.
We'll also comment that there's been a little bit of a power dynamic between O'Neal and Nero, just sizing each other up down here at the free throw line. I mean, I will say they're both very physical guys.
Hewitt driving in. We're going to get a jump ball called, as they say that Cale Bird got his hand in there. I thought he just swatted it away, or maybe somebody else reached in as Hewitt was getting in the air, but they are calling the jump ball. Official had a great view of it.
Yeah,
so
clear as day.
So that's the call, and it will go to Bella Vista. Wooden falls to the ground, gets up before the ball was on the ground. He didn't have possession when he stood up. And a smart play by Coach Stuart Cussler off the bench as he calls the timeout. He didn't want to have to force Wooden to make a decision there. Just get the ball. I'll call the timeout. I'll bail you out. We'll keep possession.
Yeah.
With 23 seconds on the shot clock. Don't forget, BV Live Sports is also on Facebook. Join us, facebook.com/BV Live Sports, or you can scan the QR code that's on your screen right now. We've got updates. You'll see when the next game is. We put the YouTube link up on the site, so once this game is over, we will get the link for tomorrow's game against Wood Creek, between the Bella Vista girls and Wood Creek. So go ahead, BV Live Sports facebook.com/BV Live Sports. And speaking of tomorrow night, let's talk about it. The girls under the tutelage of Becky Stewart, who is also the athletic director here at Bella Vista, the head basketball coach for the girls program. They will be in action. They had a tough one against Christian Brothers last night, and it doesn't get any easier. Wood Creek is one of those perennial favorites here in the Capital Valley Conference. But we'll have it for you tomorrow. 7:15 is the airtime, and 7:30 is our tip-off. Here's Jonah Wooden driving down the lane. That one's a little too hard. Rebound tipped by O'Neal. Wooden almost had it. Here come the Broncos. Long pass leading for Rab Patterson. It's too far, so the Broncos will take possession once again. Broncos, again, they haven't led in this game yet, but have a chance to take the lead right here. They've matched Christian Brothers pretty well. Another turnover on the sideline as the ball off the hands of Iwamasa. He couldn't save it in bounds. By the way, the JV and the freshmen both losing their games tonight to Christian Brothers. There's a deflection away into backcourt. Falcons get it back, and that's Grinstein that's driving down the lane and draws the foul. Mentioned the earlier outcomes. The JV game, 70-48 was the final score, and I know you sent me the freshman score. I didn't write it down.
No, you're all good. Hang on. The freshman game ended 26-67.
67-26, Christian Brothers winning that one. So Bella Vista trying to salvage one of the wins here tonight against the Falcons of Christian Brothers. By the way, that's 2 free throws for Grinstein. He is up to 4 on the night. 3-point lead, just under 3 minutes to go. Aggressive defense from Christian Brothers. This is Cale Bird underneath. 13 seconds to shoot. Bird has it, tries to dump it underneath. That one is deflected out of bounds. I believe Christian Brothers was last to touch, but we'll see.
I think there was also a foul called on
a collision
the bottom there.
Right in front of the Christian Brothers bench.
But there is a wet floor now.
So they'll clean that up.
Or at least find something to clean it. Oh.
I guess they're happy with it. Bella Vista keeps possession.
8 seconds. Not a lot of time.
A Trotsic from way downtown. And a foul on the rebound.
It's going to be Bird with a hold.
That'll be the first on Cale Bird. 4th team foul on Bella Vista. So the next foul committed by the Broncos will result in free throws no matter what.
We'll see.
Hewitt.
Christian Brothers defense did put up a really good set in there. It's a rebound by
Stockdale is the one with the rebound. There goes Hewitt once again, who, by the way, has got pink accents on his shoes. Here's Cale Bird, reverse layup that drops. Cale Bird in double digits. He's got 10, leading the way for Bella Vista. Powers draws a foul inside the lane.
Emery is going to get called for a hold. And
Second
free
on
throws.
Emery, and then will be free throws here now for Daniel Powers. Mentioned he is a 60% free throw shooter. Three for 3 tonight so far. And that one goes out. Broncos the rebound. 2-point game. Here's Emery. Closed off on the baseline. Underneath it goes to O'Neal. O'Neal on Stockdale. Looks like he stepped on the baseline.
Yep.
Good defense by Stockdale. Just under 2 minutes to go.
2-point game.
So I understand there's some big doings at halftime today too, Carson.
Yes, so I'm going to be hosting a halftime show for 3 random people. I didn't specifically say what it was just because I wanted to make it a little bit fair. It is most free throws in a minute.
Most free throws in a minute. Well, we're going to look forward to seeing that. So back the other way. Here's a Trotsic, launches a 3. Bird the rebound.
That's
underneath
Rucker.
to O'Neal. Sorry, it is Rucker. Rucker gets 2 rebounds, and he'll muscle up a shot and puts that one in.
4 points and 4 rebounds already.
Quickly back the other way. That runner is good. I think it was Hewitt that got that one. Hewitt with 4. They're doing a good job keeping Hewitt at bay. 24-20, so it's a 4-point lead. Underhanded pass from Iwamasa, but that one goes right to Powers. Powers down to the baseline. They'll find a cutting Hewitt down the lane, draws the foul in a collision with Zach O'Neal.
So I'm not going to be saying this immediately. I think what Coach Cussler is going to be talking about going into the halftime break is turnovers. There's some form of miscommunication with Trevor and Mark because that's now 4 or 5 passes now that have been resulted in turnovers because of miscommunication. I think Coach is going to be talking about what do you guys need to say to each other to say this is what I want, where I want my pass. And I think also just taking the time to make sure everything looks good on passes, and that's 1 out of 2.
1 of 2 for Stephen Hewitt. He's a 69% free throw shooter. Iwamasa double team. Nearly had that one intercepted, but it gets to Rucker on the baseline, loses it, gets it back, has the shot blocked, and the ball looks like it ricocheted off somebody's knee and out of bounds. It will stay with Bella Vista. Riley Dick back in. He will inbound the ball. Actually, he's going to switch with Iwamasa. So good to see Riley Dick playing again.
I was not there for the vicious arm break, but I only heard things.
Cade
about
Rucker after the block shot. Rucker with 6 points all here in the second quarter. And that's a rebound, too, because that was a blocked shot.
Yep. He's currently
6 and 5, I think.
6 and 5.
Got a whistle here.
Yep, and it's, like I said, O'Neal and Hewitt just battling each other out at the baseline. And Looks like they're settling each other's differences. Talking it out.
So 19 seconds to go, and Christian Brothers, they can play for one shot if they wish. Right now, it looks like they're kind of taking the patient route. There's Powers. Hewitt. Good defense by Bella Vista to force the off-balance shot. The foul will send this one the other way. That'll only be the 4th team foul on Christian Brothers, so with 0.4 of a second left. Not much you can do here.
Getting in the quarterback pass.
He's just going to hold it.
That would have been amazing.
So that brings us to the end of the second quarter here, as the Broncos find themselves trailing by just 3 points. And Carson's going to head down to the floor to take care of business here with what's going on with halftime. So we'll have a little bit of fun with the halftime festivities. Right now, the cheerleaders are on the floor. We'll go ahead and take a look at some of the first half numbers. Cale Bird is leading the way with 10 points for Bella Vista, and he's got rebounds. I don't think he's up to 10 yet, but he's got a few rebounds as well. Cade Rucker, also a very impressive second quarter, 6 points. He's got 5 rebounds for the game as well. So they're the 2 leading scorers. 2 points for Marka Trotzik, 4 for Mitchell Emery. That rounds out the scoring for Bella Vista. The leading scorer for Christian Brothers on the season is Stephen Hewitt. Averages about 16.8 points per game. He was held to 5 here in the first half. And in fact, it's Daniel Powers that's leading the way for Christian Brothers with 9. So Daniel Powers leads the way with 9. Hewitt has 5. And then 4 for Grinstein. And then 2 each for Ezra Riley. And Marcus Salud had those 2 free throws. Andre Rabb-Patterson did hit a 3-point shot. I want to make sure he gets his due, as the Bella Vista Bronco cheerleaders are dancing it out to On Wisconsin. So, so how about that? Anyway, so there's your first half numbers. The Christian Brothers took the first quarter by a 10-6 count, and then it was 15 points for them in the second quarter. And for Bella Vista, it was 16. So Bella Vista actually outscored Christian Brothers in that second quarter. So every bit as advertised, that both teams kind of up and down. They like that up-tempo style. And as we told you, and as Coach Kussler has told us, he thinks he can play with anyone. And right now, through the first half of play, he is playing. They are playing very well against a very talented Christian Brothers team that is going to be good for many years to come, we are expecting. So once the halftime festivities happen, let's go ahead and pick that up with Carson
Come
Allen.
down to the court, please. 1. Where's our 2? All right. All right, so I purposely made it vague just to make it a little more fair. It is most free throws in 1 minute. All right. Hang on, can we have Ellie, Paige?
I recognize those names, Ellie and Paige. Sounds like a couple of girls players are being pressed into duty here to shag the shots that are going to be taken. In fact, there they are, all dressed out in their pink.
So we have our basketball. Yeah. So you girls are just going to be doing rebounds and stuff and passing it to our... All right, so what's your name, buddy? Jackson? All right, so Jackson is going to start us off. As soon as I give you the ball, buddy, your 1 minute timer will start. and every point you make, we'll tally it, and we'll see who wins at the end. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go! One. Come on, buddy, you got this. So close. It's all right. Take your time. It's all right. Oh, sorry, buddy. 2. Ten, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. Nice job. Everybody, let's give a big round of applause for Jackson. Next up, we have Salvi. So, whenever you're ready, when you start shooting, your timer will start. Let's go, Salvi. You got this. One. He's got a rhythm. 2, 3, 4. He's on a hot streak. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. No basket. Alrighty. Last but certainly not least, I tried to not get any basketball players. Liam, whenever you're ready, your 1-minute timer will start when you start shooting. You're representing the team here. Hey, come on. You got it. 1, 2, 3. You got about 30 seconds left. 4, 5. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that's the game. Alrighty, so if we could have everybody except for the Christian Brothers team clear off the court so they can warm up.
All right, well, they tied.
And in a shocking event, we have a tie.
Rock, paper, scissors.
All right, so it's going to be a game of rock, paper, scissors. Best 2 out of 3 to determine the prize, which is a Bella Vista shirt. Bella Vista Bronco basketball shirt. All right, gentlemen, best 2 out of 3. All right, that's 1. 1-1. And that is 2-1. Good game, gentlemen. And congratulations on your very own Bella Vista Broncos t-shirt.
Well, that was fun. The last two, the ones that each hit the 7 free throws, they both got into a rhythm. Once they hit their first shot, all of a sudden we had all kinds of shots falling. So that was a lot of fun for the participants as we see a little activity here at halftime. We are just moments away from starting the second half of play. The Broncos, well, they've hung tough with this very tough Christian Brothers team. We knew that it was going to be. We knew that both teams were going to want to, push the ball, which they have. Nobody has really gotten a big advantage. Christian Brothers leads by by 3. I think they at one point had a 4-point lead, but that's really been it as far as the biggest lead is concerned. There really hasn't been a major run by either team. It's stayed close pretty much throughout the game. So hopefully that second half is the same, and this one could come down to the wire. That would be a lot of fun. It's interesting. I was taking a look at the schedule for the Capital Valley Conference the rest of the way here for this week. Some non-league action going on with Wood Creek. They're taking on Lincoln. Burbank is going to go up against Ponderosa, and Rio Americano is going to be playing a noon game tomorrow against Lodi. As we're heading into the holiday weekend, the Martin Luther King weekend, it's a lot of basketball action and some tournaments going on as a result of that. There's Powers driving to the rack. He can't get that one to go. Nero, the rebound, draws the foul underneath, and we'll get a couple of free throws here.
Looking at rebounds for that first half, it looks like almost about even. 6.
Cameron Nero, by the way, 83% free throw shooter. So no surprise that he makes both of them there.
Actually, BV controlled rebounds 15 to 13 in that first half. I think how I said it was good. It's just turnovers. That's going to be the cost.
Trotzik. There's Cale Bird on Hewitt. Bird drives in. Runner swirls around. It just will not go for him. Ball out of bounds. It will go to Christian Brothers.
And George, you briefly touched on it while I was down there doing my halftime show, that it has been a close game this entire time, and I agree. There hasn't been really too much of a breakaway, other than I think this first couple 4 points that so far opened up this quarter for the Falcons, and then a turnover.
That was a nice look by Nero to find Powers, and then Nero also finds the ball there on the long pass for Bella Vista. Christian Brothers with a 7-point lead. It's their biggest lead of the game, and they are trying to separate themselves a little bit more. Hewitt, 2 opportunities there. Broncos control the rebound, and they need points on this possession. Try and keep this one close. Here's a Trotzik going in, and he gets the 2. Marco Trotzik, just 4 points so far, as Christian Brothers has done a good job keeping him at bay.
I will agree with that. Both defenses have been just kind of shutting down their star players.
Rab Patterson muscles that one away with authority, if you will.
That's his first rebound of the game.
Powers tries to split the double team. He does, and he gets the roll. Daniel Powers, by the way, is up to 13 points tonight. Back to a 7-point lead. Loose ball on the ground. Christian Brothers forcing another turnover. Rab Patterson all the way in. And so Christian Brothers doing a really good job right now converting turnovers into points. Broncos across midcourt. Here's a Trotzik. A Trotzik will drive in, and they're going to get a foul on the floor. Looks like Nero's going to get called for this one. Second on him. First team foul on Christian Brothers. They're up to a 9-point lead right now. Christian Brothers, I think they really wanted to come out fast in this half because of how close it was in the first half. There's a fadeaway from Iwamasa. Powers the rebound. Powers looking to take it coast to coast, all the way in. That one's a little too short. Follows the shot, gets the rebound, and gets the 2. 15 points for Daniel Powers. Trotzik on Rab Patterson. He'll drive in. Looks like he draws another foul. Rab Patterson will get called for this one. That's his first. Second team foul on Christian Brothers, and Trotzik will get some free throws.
Nobody really in foul trouble for both teams. Nero has 2, and then for BV, I have O'Neal having 2 and Wooden having 2. So there's nothing really too worrying that Coach Cussler has to worry about.
Cade Rucker trying to save that one for the rebound on the missed free throw. Steps on the baseline. Cade Rucker has had himself quite a first half, especially in that second quarter, points-wise and rebounding. So he is in the game right now. Pass underneath looking for Nero. Looks like a foul will be called on Bella Vista. Emery get that one?
Yep, Emery got that one. That's a third.
Third on Mitchell Emery. Second team foul on the Broncos. Here's Powers. Now Nero. Nero backing in, gets around O'Neal. Shot a little too hard. Rucker another rebound.
It was O'Neal.
That's O'Neal. Here's Wooden. Wooden weaving his way through traffic. His runner does not go. And a collision on the floor.
That's going to be
Rucker.
called on Nero.
Yeah, Rucker and Nero, and Rucker was high in the air and a bit off balance. He's going to stay in the game. Just took a little bit of time. May have hit his head on the floor, but none the worse for wear, I guess. Here's a Trotzik for 3. That one's off. O'Neal gets the rebound, muscles it away. He'll force up a shot and will draw the foul. That's 2 quick ones on Nero.
Nero has 4, is my count.
That's my count, too.
Are they going to let him ride?
He's in there right now, but and they're not bringing in a substitute.
If I'm Coach Cussler right now, I'm going to force a foul every time on Nero just to get him out. Because if you get him out, then that could possibly be the swing that you need to carry this game. And so far, it is a 10-point game with the Falcons leading.
So, Christian Brothers with the possession. After the missed free throw, here's a shot from Rab Patterson that goes off. Wooden the rebound. Here's a Trotzik looking to push. Trotzik closed off, and a travel called.
Yep, that's the sub for Nero. Into the game now, Stockdale, number 22.
He had a pretty good first half.
I agree.
Didn't score a lot, but in fact didn't score at all, but really what he did away from the ball, very impressive. We got a whistle away from the ball here. They call Rab Patterson. I thought he signaled 5.
No, he signaled 13.
13,
Yeah.
That's Stephen Hewitt.
Yeah, it's Hewitt. So what I was seeing down there is that the official blew the whistle to just kind of stop it. So Mark and Hewitt were both down at about the free throw line, and they were just kind of muscling with each other's arms. And off the screen, it was Hewitt who was just putting like hard elbows and almost effectively punches into a Trotzik's arms.
So here's Rab Patterson. Hewitt at the free throw line on Rucker. Muscles up the shot over Rucker. He draws the foul. Hewitt will go to the free throw line. First foul on Rucker. It's a 4th team foul. on Bella Vista. Christian Brothers is already at 5 team fouls.
I think that they gave him either a foul warning or something for Hewitt. So it'll put them at 5, but it won't be automatically shooting. Makes both.
Hewitt with 2 free throws. 12-point lead for Christian Brothers. That is their biggest lead of the game. Broncos need to start finding the bottom of the net.
I agree.
Iwamasa, he'll kick it over. 3-point shot on the way. That one bounces off. Hewitt the rebound. He finds Powers. Powers into front court. Powers on a Trotzik. There's Grinstein. Grinstein will find the opening. Reverse layup that rolls all the way across and comes out. Another rebound for Rucker. Iwamasa's going to launch the 3. That one's off the front lip. Rebound controlled by Bella Vista. Bodies all over the floor. Long 3-point shot. No good. Henley with the rebound for Christian Brothers. Grinstein into front court. Hewitt. Inside it goes Stockdale, and he gets his first 2 points of the game. As I recall, Stockdale did have 1 assist in the first half. It was a nice-looking pass that led to some points. And now with the lead at 14 for Christian Brothers, which, by the way, they have outscored, after Bella Vista outscored Christian Brothers 16-15 in the second quarter. Christian Brothers right now is outscoring Bella Vista 14-3.
Yep. I was like, it's at least 14, and we've made 1 free throws and
a 2-pointer and 1 free throw for Bella Vista.
Yep.
So once again, I want to remind you the boys team is next in action this Tuesday night, and it will be a home game against another tough Capital Valley Conference opponent. The Timberwolves of Wood Creek will come calling, and we'll have it for you at 7:15 p.m. with the tip-off at 7:30 right here on BV Live Sports. And speaking of Wood Creek, the girls team will be here tomorrow night to take on the Broncos. And we'll have that one as well. Here's a Trotzik.
Nice find.
Underneath, draws the foul, gets the deuce. A Trotzik now with 6.
That was a great find by Iwamasa with kind of that weird mid to full court pressure that the Falcons were putting up. Just saw that Mark was sitting there on the block and see if we could get the traditional 3-point play.
And they do. 7 points now for a Trotzik. Cale Bird leads the way for Bella Vista with 10 points. That was all in the first half. He's right now not on the floor. Inside it goes to Henley, who just got the foul a moment ago. He gets his first 2 points of the game. 13-point lead for Christian Brothers. Off the screen, Iwamasa find an open Jonah Wooden for 3. That one does not go. Powers the rebound. Falcons pushing. Hewitt thought about going up for the reverse layup as he flew through the air, but instead the ball just wound up bouncing on the ground, and it's going to go over to Bella Vista.
The reason why he didn't touch it is because he thought it was a blocked ball and there was no jump ball called. So it was automatically, he thought it was controlled. Oh yeah, and they're signaling, it was a lane violation. I was like, what? They're signaling it was five fouls.
Full court press right now for Christian Brothers. And O'Neal not able to find the handle on that pass. Another unforced error for Bella Vista. As they're finding this one slipping away. The Broncos need to get a run going.
I agree.
Kind of like the run that Christian Brothers has put on in this third quarter.
And this is full court pressure.
Here's Hewitt with the right hand. Stephen Hewitt. He is now at 9. A very quiet first half. Marcus Salute getting ready to come back in. Here's Wooden. His runner does not go. Broncos are getting some good looks. The shots are not falling. In the corner, Henley. Henley closed off by Wooden. Ball deflected. O'Neal has it. Iwamasa will bring it up with a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Broncos desperately need points. Here's a Trotzik, finds the opening, the ball deflected away, and they're going to say Trotzik was last to touch. Must have bounced off his leg.
I think it was called because the official did lift up his right leg and signaled like towards his foot.
Powers is going to come out of the game. Salute is in.
Powers has had a phenomenal game. I have 14 points and 9 rebounds. So he almost has a double-double right now.
That one's taken away by Bella Vista. Get a pass into O'Neal, and as a foul is going to be called.
And Salute.
Salute gets that one. That'll be his first. And free throws for Bella Vista.
All right, George, what would you be telling Salute after that foul if he was still your player?
Well, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. You know, you get in there and you sometimes contact is just going to be made.
True.
You know, I mean, there are some fouls, and he was actually one of the better players on the team. There are some fouls that you know, are just going to happen in the course of basketball.
Yeah. Do you think there's anything that you see in Salud those years ago that you were going to be thinking to yourself, oh, I'm going to be seeing him years down the road playing against BV?
Well, obviously, I wasn't able to predict the future of where I was going to be.
True.
Here we are several years later. But him playing high school basketball, absolutely. Absolutely. One of his teammates on that team was an outstanding football player at Jesuit High School as a defensive back and a running back by the name of Johnny Brannon IV.
Johnny Brannon IV. How much do you want to bet that he has a kid now, and or he's
when he gets married and has
yeah.
kids? It wouldn't surprise me if there's a Johnny Brannon the fifth. That's a terrific family too.
Right on.
But yeah, Johnny was our point guard, and he went on to play 4 years of football at Jesuit. And Marcus was in 7th grade when Johnny and my son were in 8th grade. And as I mentioned, he was one of the better basketball players on the team. Here's a takeaway by Henley. Under 10 seconds to go, 14-point lead for Christian Brothers. Here's Salud on the baseline, drives in, forces up the shot. And Salud, very aggressive. And I tell you what, he can take it to the basket.
It's being shown now, and I bet it was shown all those years ago.
And looks like the foul, they call that one on Salud?
No, it was a jump ball.
It was a jump ball. All right.
Half court.
Half-court shot by a Trotzik. Got a little bit of rim off the glass. But we have come to the end of the third quarter here. And the Broncos, unfortunately, just 7 points as they kind of went cold in that quarter. 18 points for Christian Brothers as they hold the 43-29 lead right now here at the end of the third quarter. So 8 more minutes to go. Just a rough quarter for the Broncos. They got some good looks. The shots didn't fall, but then there are also a few turnovers as well.
Yeah, and I think that in that section, those costly turnovers are gonna be it. I talked about it in that first half. Is that it was miscommunication that resulted in turnovers, and I think it's still this. It's that miscommunication into turnovers, and I think it's also a part of the Christian Brothers' defensive playing and strategies is that they are setting up full court pressure and they're trapping in corners. Because as soon as we are dribbling up to those little sides, we're effectively saying, hey, sideline's a third defender on the team. And they're just trapping, and we're throwing Hail Mary shots. And Riley Dick is not in to make sure that his linemen are there to defend him.
All right, fourth quarter about to get underway. Daniel Powers leads the way, 15 points for Christian Brothers. And Cale Bird continuing to lead the way with 10 points for Bella Vista. All of that in the first half. And Rucker is in, but Bird is also back in the game. Salud has the shot deflected away from behind. There's a block for Cale Bird.
This is first block. Who'd have thought? Blocked by Bird.
Inside it goes to Henley. Get a foul called on Bella Vista.
It's 33, Cade Rucker. It was a reach around.
Second on Rucker. First team foul on Bella Vista in the fourth quarter. That's Riley out front. Grab Patterson, picked up by Emery. Back outside, left-handed shot does not go. Broncos with the rebound, and a foul is going to be called.
I think an official signaled 4 or I think he signaled
Rab
5,
Patterson.
but I think he meant
It was
4, which is
Rab Patterson was the one that was up in his grill. 5 isn't even in there
No.
because he's got 4 fouls.
Yeah, correct.
Here's Wooden driving in. Wooden's shot will drop.
Breaks that dry streak.
Yeah, much needed deuce for Bella Vista. Lead is 12. Broncos need a run. Christian Brothers, on the other hand, they just need to keep playing their game. They will slow it down when they need to, as they are doing right now, playing a half-court game. Henley turn around over Bird, comes off, rebound underneath by Ezra Patterson. Using that 6'5" frame to his advantage, he's got 4 points tonight. Wooden closed off. Aggressive defense by Marcus Salud, which that is his specialty according to Coach Jermaine Brown.
Offensive foul.
Offensive foul called on Bella
Bird.
Vista. Cale Bird. Second on Bird. So a few substitutions. Henley, Salud, and Stockdale will come out. Powers is back in, as is Nero and Stephen Hewitt. They got their rest, and now they look to impose their will. Powers put that one on the floor. Wooden all over it. It's a jump ball. It will stay with Christian Brothers. Referee's pointing to Bella Vista. Or is he calling a foul?
So there were 2 things called. There was a jump ball by the official down here, and then the official up top had a timeout call for Christian Brothers, but I believe that is going to be overturned.
So it's just the jump ball, which favors Christian Brothers. The possession arrow did switch. Here's Hewitt, forces up an off-balance shot. Nero with the rebound, comes up with it. Foul on the baseline. This should go against Bella Vista. It's on Rucker.
Rucker, that's 3.
3 on Rucker. Third team foul on Bella Vista. Here's Powers, closed off. Here's Hewitt into the lane with the right-handed shot. It's going to take the friendly roll. Hewitt hits double digits now. He's got 11. Wooden across midcourt. 16-point lead for Christian Brothers. That one goes out of bounds. Bella Vista last to touch. Bird does not agree. Oh, they switched it.
Overturned. I think
that Cale Bird has a career as a lawyer ahead of him.
I definitely agree.
He didn't get into the referee's face. It looks like he was pretty calm about it, for one thing.
It definitely looked like from our end up here, it looked like it was really calm, and he was like, I think the conversation went, I did not touch the ball. It was deflected off my client's hand. Your Honor, I would like to put into effect that this ball is Bella Vista's.
And the referee said, objection sustained.
Slammed his gavel, and he was like, I'm
All right, 5:43 to go. He doesn't have a name like Peyton Manning to where we could call him Debatin' Manning. But I mean, it would fit that. It would kind of fit that role as well. So.
I can't even think of one on the top.
But I don't know. I don't know if Kale has an NIL deal going with Nationwide Insurance or not either. So, anyway.
First it was In and Out, now it's Nationwide.
There's Kale Bird to Iwamasa. A Trotzik from way downtown. Marka Trotzik. He hits double figures. That's more than downtown. That's Roseville. And Stephen Hewitt says, "Well, you know what? I can answer that." Hewitt's now at 13. 15-point lead, 5:20 to go. Iwamasa to Wooden. Wooden to the baseline, closed off there. The fadeaway does not go. Rab Patterson the rebound. Marka Trotzik nearly came up with a steal. Rab Patterson, he'll launch a three. Loose ball. Controlled by the Broncos. Here's Bird. Tries the Euro step on Rab Patterson and draws the foul.
That was an insane sequence of events of an almost steal to a miss to a strip ball down the court to now shooting free throws for Kale Bird.
Don't forget to join us tomorrow night. The Bella Vista Lady Broncos will be taking on Wood Creek. That'll be at 7:30, the tip-off here at Bella Vista. And we'll take the air at 7:15. Third of 3 straight nights of Bella Vista basketball here on BV Live Sports. And then we'll be back with you on Tuesday of next week when the Broncos boys team will take on Wood Creek. Bird with the free throw.
Makes both.
And he is up to 12. Good night scoring and rebounding for Kale Bird. Rucker's been a force on the boards as well, and Rucker nearly forces a turnover. Oh. In fact, he does. Yeah. Everybody's walking the other way.
Down by
Iwamasa.
13.
There's Rucker, steps in. He'll launch a jumper and gets the friendly roll. Rucker is now at 8 points. 11-point lead for Christian Brothers. Broncos need some defense. Here's Nero on the baseline, tries to go up for the dunk. It won't go. Broncos back the other way. Three-pointer from Rucker! Cade Rucker now up to 11. It's Cade Rucker, Marka Trotzik, and Kale Bird are your double-digit scorers here tonight, and a timeout is being called by Coach Cuss. Oh, actually, it was by Christian
Jermaine
Brothers.
Brown.
Yeah, Jermaine Brown beat him to it, but Coach Kessler was actually making the motion for a full timeout as well. So, but it looks like Christian Brothers called it first. So they're down to 2. Bella Vista with 3 timeouts left. That cuts the lead to 8. 4:08 to go. We talked about it. Bella Vista needs to get a run going. They need some defensive stops. And that attempted dunk by Cameron Nero wasn't able to get that to fall. And that got Bella Vista going, and they found Rucker open for the 3, and a much-needed trifecta for the Broncos.
Definitely 100%. I feel like if, hang on, where's a form of wood, because superstition is a thing that I believe in. If Bella Vista wins this game, I think that Christian Brothers will look back on the game and say that dunk may have cost them the game.
Well, we'll see. It depends on how things go from here. Is that three-pointer enough to really spark the Broncos? And we will see. We will see how it goes.
And here the Broncos are out of this full timeout, full court pressure. Steal!
Yeah, nice steal. And a deuce, and it's Cade Rucker. Rucker with 13 points now. The lead is now 6. Here's Hewitt back the other way. On a Trotzik, closed off there, trapped in the corner. Here's Powers. Bella Vista up in their grills. Rab Patterson. Jonah Wooden with the guarding assignment. Powers closed off. He looks to go in. Muscles up a shot. Draws the foul and gets the deuce. 17 tonight for Daniel Powers.
It's a foul on Kale Bird.
That's 3 on Bird.
Substitution, Grinstein is coming in for Riley for the Falcons.
And the basket and one for Daniel Powers. Now up to 18 points tonight. The lead is 9. There's the hot hand right there. Rucker gets his man in the air. Down low it goes to Bird. Closed off. Looking for some help. Here's Wooden. Wooden draws the baseline. Draws the foul. It'll be the third team foul on Christian Brothers. And a possession to the left of the basket for Bella Vista.
Oh, that's 5. It was called on the foul. Rob Patterson. They have that as his 5th foul. Wow.
They have him for 5?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were horning and signaling 5 at the table.
And Nero continuing to play with 4. Here's Rucker. Rucker, he'll launch another 3. That one comes off. Hewitt the rebound. He's had a big game rebounding tonight too. Powers. Marcus Salud back into the game for Christian Brothers. Here's Powers. Closed off there. Underneath, Marcus Salud open with the left hand. Gets his first field goal of the game. He's got 4 points tonight. And that puts Christian Brothers up by 11. Here's Jonah Wooden. He'll launch a long arcing 3. Loose ball. Hewitt comes up with another rebound. Hewitt will drive in. His finger roll is going to take a friendly roll and drop in. And now I think Coach Kessler is going to get the timeout that he was looking for earlier.
15 points for Hewitt this game.
Quick 6-0 run for Christian Brothers right out of that timeout. And they have now increased that lead, which was down to 6. It's now back up to 13.
And if 2 minutes and 30 seconds, we saw it happen in that Casa Roble game. 2 minutes and 30 seconds is a lot of time, especially with 3 timeouts still on the board for in total between the 2 coaches, 2 for Coach Jermaine Brown and 1 for Coach Kessler. So this game is still within reach. So I don't think these Broncos should be count out just yet. But if Jermaine Brown is going to come out of this timeout and say anything, is to run the clock as much as his players can, just so that it reduces the amount of time that Bella Vista has to shoot and set up plays. And then I think Coach Kessler is going to say that with the 4 fouls that we have, maybe foul once and attempt free throws, but that's still risky. I think game plan should be get Nero out so they don't have nearly as an aggressive center, and then just start shooting.
Ball deflected from behind from Iwamasa, and a foul will be called against Christian Brothers.
It's on number 2.
That's Grinstein.
I have that as his first.
I have him for just the 1 as well.
Jermaine Brown's talking with head official down there.
So still not in the bonus yet. Bella Vista to inbound. Iwamasa will come over and do that. 2:26 to go. It will be free throws the rest of the way on all fouls, as both teams are at 4 team fouls. Bird unable to handle it, but does get it back. Here's Rucker once again. Rucker drives in. The ball deflected away. That was Nero's defense. Here's Salud. Salud has it poked away. Salud on the baseline. Knocked away again. Wooden winds up on the ground, and half of his body was out of bounds, so this is going to stay with Christian Brothers.
Yep.
Now, Coach Jermaine Brown was telling us that Marcus Salud is his defensive specialist. And I tell you what, Marcus has 4 points tonight, but he's doing a lot away from the ball. As you saw right there, wound up on the ground, and he's not afraid to do that stuff.
No. I think, like how you're saying, with just him being that defensive pressure maker for him. And you can already see he's sizing up Drotzek.
Here's Hewitt. Hewitt will drive in. He'll go in. He thought about a dunk. He was thinking about it, but just went with the finger roll instead. He's at 15 points. He's getting close to his average. after a rather quiet by his standards first half. Here's a Trotzik. He'll launch a three. That's off. Bird the rebound. Bird, he'll with a fadeaway. He'll get the jumper. Cale Bird with 14 points tonight. 13-point game. Grinstein with Salute. Salute in the corner once again. Back over to Powers. Thought about it. Now he'll drive the lane. Dump it underneath. And the ball deflected away with a shot taken by Nero. Nero grabbing his nose or eyes or something.
The ball was passed to him really hard at his face, and then
maybe hit him
Rucker
in the nose.
Was going to get called for the foul as well.
That's 4 on Rucker. Here's Nero, who's done a really good job playing with 4 fouls.
He's like a little ballerina dancing around at the official's whistle right now.
1:26 to go. 1 of 2 for Nero, but the rebound is controlled by Bella Vista. Broncos having a little trouble, but here's a Trotzik with it. Trotzik drives in, takes it down the lane. The finger roll does not go. Salute the rebound. And here's Powers just across midcourt.
Fouls on Wooden. Have it as 3.
And again, that's free throws now the rest of the way. So Powers will go to the line. Talked about it earlier. He's a 60% free throw shooter.
Substitutions for Bella Vista. We have Emery checking into the game for Trotzik.
Next up for Christian Brothers, they have a Martin Luther King Jr. Day game on in Fairfield against Vanden. It's a neutral court game, one of the MLK Day tournaments that's going to be going on around Northern California. So that is their next game. It's a non-league game. They will return to league action later on next week on Thursday against Rio Americano. The ball on the baseline is going to stay with Bella Vista. The Broncos, as we mentioned, they will be hosting Wood Creek on Tuesday.
We'll comment for your book. Powers did make his second free throw. So I believe he's 100% from the line tonight. I think he's missed 1. No, actually I haven't missed 1.
So Powers, by the way, that has him at 20 points.
You said 22? Or what was his highest scoring in total for his season?
19.
So this is his new record.
He now has his season high now with 20 points. He had 19 against Cathedral Prep, had 18 against Indercom, and now
20 against Bella
20
Vista.
now against Bella Vista. So impressive night for Daniel Powers, the second leading scorer. He averages about 13 points per game. Stephen Hewitt, who is the leading scorer at nearly 17 points per game, is close to that. Yeah, he's really close to that. He's at 17.
Who'd have thought? He's making close to his average.
So he's just
which
slightly,
is his average.
And his average is actually 16.8, so he's just a little bit above it. So Cale Bird gets the pass, and he'll muscle up a shot. A really, really nice night for Cale Bird. Stepping in. Again, Maxwell Pruker is out for a few games with a severely injured ankle. They hope to get him back, hopefully by the end of this month. There's a pass down low, looking to get it underneath, just into the game. Tyler Raddick, a 5'10 senior, seeing his, he might have gotten in earlier in the game, but we haven't really seen a lot of him.
I don't have him for, oh wait, no, he did. He has a rebound and a turnover.
Here's Hewitt, drives the baseline, brings the ball in, and he gets the runner there. So Hewitt is up at 19 points now. He has 8 games of 20 points or more this year. And the shot does not fall for Bella Vista. They do draw a foul. So Stephen Hewitt, 8 games of 20-plus points, had 25, his season high against Indercom, also had a 23-point game against McClatchy.
I think the foul was on Grinstein.
And that would be 2 on Grinstein. Cale Bird adding to his point total.
Missed the first one. makes the second.
And the Broncos down 14 as we're in the final 20 seconds of play, and the Falcons, they're just going to hold on to this one. Just let the clock run out as the final 9 seconds go. It was quite an effort for Bella Vista tonight. They stayed with them close in the first half. A run by Christian Brothers at the end, and now he's going to go in and do the dunk after the buzzer. Well, it was a layup. It doesn't count. But quite a, as I mentioned, it was a good performance by the Broncos. They stayed with them close in the first half. Things kind of got away from them in the second half. And in the end, it's a 14-point win for Christian Brothers. Certainly not an embarrassment.
No.
Certainly, I think that Bella Vista acquitted themselves quite well. And we will take a look at some of the final numbers in just a bit. But the Broncos will get ready to welcome Wood Creek to town on Tuesday night. So that will be coming up on Tuesday night. So that will be the 21st, right after the Martin Luther King holiday, and the 3-day weekend coming up this weekend. Be a 7 o'clock game. And so Coach Kussler has already come
down
over.
there, and he's waiting for me.
He is waiting for you, Carson. We'll go ahead
Duty
and
calls.
send you off, and we'll get you taken care of, and we will hear from Coach Kussler. Looking forward to what Coach will be telling us with the game tonight. So they will be gathering here in just a second. So again, it's a 14-point win for the Christian Brothers Falcons. A good overall performance, and good for Bella Vista here. Here we go. Let's send it downstairs to Carson with Coach Kussler.
Well, hi, Coach. What a great game. Couple things that we wanted to ask. What was your thought about you had 3 players in double digits tonight? What do you have to think about that?
Well, I thought we did a good job of sharing the ball and getting some good open shots, and we have a lot of unselfish players, so they find the open man, and we did a good job of that tonight.
So looking into that first half, one of the things that I kept talking about on the broadcast is that you guys, was there some form of miscommunication between some of your players in Margaret Choxic and Trevor Yamamasa with just some of those turnovers? Because Trevor had a couple of those turnovers that felt like they were costly in that first half.
Yeah, the turnovers definitely hurt us in the first half. They pressed pretty much most of the game, and we made some careless mistakes. That was our fault, and some that was because of good defense by them, but we'll work on it. Trevor's young. He's only a sophomore, so he'll improve.
Still plenty of time for him to just kind of get into his own environment for this team. Going into the second half of play, Cade Rucker, just that great out of that timeout, a steal and score. Do you think that later on in the season you're going to see more playing time from him?
I think so, yeah. I really want to see him be consistent throughout all his playing time, both on offense and on defense. Tonight he was great on offense, and so we get that game after game. He's gonna be playing a lot.
And then finally, Coach Jermaine Brown, we talked with him a little bit, and how you guys both have similar play styles in kind of that wanting that full court defense. Is there anything that you might learn from as a coach from Jermaine Brown that you might implement into your practices for future games in the league?
I think his team was really well conditioned. They didn't seem like they were getting too tired, and so I'm sure that they do a lot of conditioning, and that's something we're planning on implementing quite a bit in the offseason.
Perfect. Well, it was nice talking with you, Coach. And you have a great game, and we will see you on Tuesday against Wood Creek. I believe that's back at home.
Correct. Thank you.
All
Have
right.
a great night.
Night, Coach.
All right, Carson, thank you very much. And that will Coach actually had some good things to say, and as they mentioned during the conversation, 3 players in double figures tonight for the Broncos, led by the 17 points of Cale Bird, and then 13 for Cade Rucker, and then 10 for Marka Trotzik. So rather impressive performance by all three of them. We have certainly talked about who it is that's going to step up in the absence of Maxwell Pruker, and on a night where Marka Trotzik, who had been averaging about 12 points per game and had 14 the other night against Intercom, he it's kind of a down night for Mark, only getting 10 points, but you had Cale Bird and Cade Rucker step up.
Yeah, and talking like that with Coach Cussler is that he is going to see more playing time from Cade Rucker in the future. Sorry, I'm chuckling because I'm looking up right now. Our principal, Purington, is playing basketball right now.
Hey, why not?
Sorry, I'm just chuckling at that fact real quick. But yeah.
He's connecting with the kids.
Exactly, connecting with the kids. It is his
there
first
he is.
year. And so
in fact, a nice pass to the free throw line. Well, let's see what he can do here. Steps back, 19-footer on the way. Well, you know what? He's the people's principal.
He is the people's principal. But anyway, getting back to today's game, I think that for us to be successful in the league so far, because we are now, I believe, 1-3 or 1-4.
1-3, yes.
1-3, that we need to set up either better defensively set plays or find the man who's hot at warm up and just start working defensively and offensively too.
So the Broncos, they will have the weekend off. It is a 3-day weekend before they after tomorrow, of course. Yeah, regular school day tomorrow, and then a 3-day weekend for the Martin Luther King holiday. And then the Broncos, when they return from that long weekend, will return on a game night to take on Wood Creek next Tuesday, the 21st. That is a 7:30 tip-off and a 7:15 broadcast here tonight. And of course, we talked about it throughout the broadcast. Broncos stayed close during that second quarter. In fact, they outscored Christian Brothers by 1 point and only trailed by 3 at halftime. Their undoing was the third quarter, where they were outscored 18-7, and that really is where Christian Brothers was able to impose their will the rest of the way and get that and build that lead up to the 14 points that ultimately wound up being the final outcome, as both teams scored 20 points in that fourth quarter. So the fourth quarter was a tie, and the second quarter went to Bella Vista by 1 point. But when Christian Brothers was winning the first and the third quarters, they did so enough to secure that 14-point win here this evening. So we talked about the upcoming schedules. First, for Christian Brothers, they will take on Vanden this Monday. The Martin Luther King holiday, they will take on Vanden. It's a trip to Fairfield for a neutral site tournament game in honor of the Martin Luther King holiday. And so they will make that trip on Monday, and then they will play Thursday against Rio Americano. For Bella Vista, they have the home game against Wood Creek, and then a couple of road games next week. They'll head to Folsom to take on Vista del Lago on Thursday, and then turn right back around and have a Friday game not too far from here. They'll be taking on Del Campo. This is Del Campo's year to host that matchup. I remember the matchup against Del Campo last year, and quite frankly, if you want to go out to that game, if the Bella Vista cheerleaders show up for that game next Friday, we might get that cheer off that we had at the Del Campo game here when the Del Campo cheerleaders came here, and we had dueling cheerleaders doing backflips all the way down the court the whole time. So hopefully that's going to happen.
I hope so too.
That'll be.
I almost might. I think I might go to that game and stay for varsity for that reason.
Those of you affiliated with Bella Vista High School that have the Game Changer app, you'll be able to watch that game on the Game Changer app. So anyway, so that will so that's what it's looking like for Bella Vista as far as next week is concerned. Just taking a look at the final numbers one last time. Cale Bird leads the way for Bella Vista, 17 points. Where was he on rebounds?
I have him for 5.
So Cale Bird with 5 rebounds. Second leading scorer was Cade Rucker, and he was a rebounding machine.
Yeah, I have 6 rebounds for him.
6 rebounds for
Most rebounds was O'Neal, weirdly enough, with 6 as well.
That's part of his job.
True.
You know, he had 2 points as well, but we'll get to that. So 10 for or 17 for Bird, 13 for Rucker. Trotzig had 10, and then drops down to the 4 points for Mitchell Emery and 2 for Zach O'Neal. O'Neal and Rucker leading the way with 6 rebounds, and Cale Bird had 5. Daniel Powers leading the way with a season-high 20 points for the Falcons of Christian Brothers tonight. That eclipsed his season high by 1 point. He had 19 against Cathedral Prep, 18 against Intercom, also 9 rebounds, as Carson just mentioned. 19 points for Stephen Hewitt, who is normally the leading scorer. Tonight he takes a back seat to Daniel Powers. 19 points for Stephen Hewitt, including 10 points in that fourth quarter. And he was kind of helped the Falcons put that one away. 5 points for Andre Rab-Patterson, 4 each for Aaron Grinstein and Ezra Riley and Marcus Salud. And then 3 points for Cameron Nero, 2 for Braden Henley, and 2 for Grayson Stockdale. That rounds out the scoring. Once again, we invite you to join us tomorrow night as the Lady Broncos of Bella Vista. They'll take on Wood Creek at 7:30 with a 7:15 start time here on BV Live Sports. And then we will turn it around next Tuesday and see the Wood Creek boys come calling and go up against the Bella Vista boys. Again, same times on Tuesday the 21st, 7:15 for the start, around about that time, and 7:30 for the tip-off. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Shout out to our normal colleague Quincy Douglas. He had a work commitment tonight and couldn't make it to the game tonight. Carson Allen doing a great job filling in. So thank you very much for everyone that was involved. Our camera operator Elizabeth Allen, our producer Julie Tharolson. For Carson Allen, I'm George Tharolson. Have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Have a great night.